Hi and welcome. I'm delighted that you're here. Today's going to be a big day for us because we've got a lot of work to do. Oh my goodness. We're going to use this form later on to put the bent sides in and just clamp them and hold it in place. So I wanted you to see that again because we are going to be using this, but I'm going to get it out of the way for now. So let me just set this down here so that it's out of the way. And then this big bad boy is what we're going to be using next. Now, somebody asked about the heavy equipment. Let me tell you, this is 3/4 inch plywood. Yes, I made this myself. We've got 6 or 7 pieces of plywood shaped the size of a half a guitar. And that is going to go into this little thing here. And we'll put it in like so. And we got that all lined up nice and neat. And then this fits up under here so that when I bring down and turn this, what happens is everything fits in here and it bends and heats up. Now, here are our 2 sides that we're going to bend. I have checked again. I have re-indicated where the waist is in this. Unfortunately, it's not going to matter because I'm going to cover this with some water and with some aluminum foil, which is what I have right here. So we're going to do that, and we'll do that next, but I wanted to show you the spring steel. This is a piece of spring steel which will fit up in here like so, and it will bend down like this and then come around this way. This is where the board is going to be placed so that we know what we're doing. Here we have the controls. There's the heat temperature, the rheostat, so that I can crank up the temperature on this and know exactly where I'm at. So we're going to do that, but before we do, being that I am left-handed, I need to turn this around so that I'm familiar with exactly what I'm doing. So this is going to end up coming around this way to make it the way I would like to have it here. The power cord is coming over here. We'll plug that in the wall over there. Now, before I do anything, one of the things I like to do, just for the simple sake of what we call safety, is you will see I am about to clamp this thing to the bench. This gives you a good opportunity to see exactly what I am going to do. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm double checking everything to see where I want this bend taking place. And we've got this lined up perfectly. Okay, I will put this on here like so. I've got about 12 inches to the waist here from the front, but from the very front here, it's pretty close to 15 inches. And now we're going to spritz this. Bit of dampness in there. There is the first side. Now, we said that we were measuring this up 20 inches, right? No, I know it wasn't 20 inches. I'm just making sure you're paying attention. I said it was about 15 inches, but it's about 12 from the actual part that we're going to cut off, maybe 11 inches to the bottom of the waist. Now, this may be overkill, but I use the engineer's square here. And I use this because I want to make sure that I am square and level on both sides. Now, what I have here is a regular food thermometer, and it's in both Celsius and Fahrenheit. And I'm setting this up in Fahrenheit, and it's going to go in underneath here just so that I can measure the temperature of the board. Now, the reason for that line that I drew right across the aluminum is so that I can make sure I'm lined up in the center here and the center here, period. So now what we need to do is put the top piece of spring steel on here, and I'll explain these strings in just a minute. This is a silicone heating blanket, which I'm going to put under here. I need these, and these will go on here like so, and will go on here like so. There are springs which we have loaded up here, and you'll see that. Can you see the steam coming off this, by the way? Yeah, there's quite a bit of steam coming. What I've got is I've got this thing fastened. It's straight. It's not cockeyed. It's at 122 and it's sizzling. I'm hearing cracking. And what this means is right now it's time for you to subscribe, because it's right down here, and you can hit that subscribe button and then kick the daylights out of the bell. Oh, that bell is so annoying. Why don't we just drop kick that sucker one time real good and drive it right into next week? We're at 154 degrees already. So while we wait for you to subscribe and hit the notification bell, you know what time it is. Just time for a little bit of a pause while this heats up. I might just set my mug on this and it would heat it up pretty good. Oh man, I'm telling you, this is really good. And let's just make sure that we're not in any trouble here, because I don't want to overheat this thing. There we go. Isn't this fun? We just hanging out. Oh, I can feel that tension. So I'm going to give this another little twist down. You know, people have asked me, what is the most difficult part of building a guitar? Well, I don't find this difficult, but I'm very cautious about it, because I remember when I did the mahogany sides, and if you were at I think we talked about that at the time where we had tea with Monty, and when we did that, I heard something there I don't like. Yeah, it could be the spring. And what happened is I ended up breaking and ruining 7 out of 8 sides that I bent, and that was using mahogany. Only to find out that mahogany is one of the more difficult woods to bend, or so I was told. All right. I'm just slowly applying pressure here. Now you can see I'm tying this rope around the bottom here, and the reason for that is so that I can keep this side flat here. I'm going to make sure the waist is all the way down. It'll only go so far, right? Okay, I've turned that off. When that comes out, we're going to end up using this little thing. This is another heater. We'll end up setting it like so on the bench, and we'll make sure that we get the waist and this part here on the lower bout bent properly to fit into the form which we put down here. So everything is good. Now, I have the linings here. I just wanted to show you this. I made these linings the other day. I haven't put the kerfing in here. I don't know if I will. I kind of would like to try this without it, but I'm not sure this is going to bend right. It probably needs to have all the kerfings put in it, which is really time consuming. You know, we spent 22 minutes just thinning out the sides of this sucker here to cut these things where you have 2 or 3 cuts per inch running through the table saw times 4 is probably an hour's work at least setting that up. So that's pretty well it for me right now. We're going to leave this as it is. I will come back and we will take this thing out of the form, but we won't do it for a little while yet. Everything is turned off here. This thing is just holding the heat. What I will do is I will come back, I will turn the heat on again just to apply a little more heat so that it can stay this way. Now, the natural tendency for this wood is when it comes out of the form is to spring back up flat again. That's why we'll end up putting it into the form here that I have and then clamping it in place so that it sets there, and then we'll put spacers and all of that kind of good stuff. But in the meantime, it is time. It is time for you to get your cup of tea, and I'm prepared to wait for a second. Okay, let's just do this because it is the right thing to do. Oh man, this is so good. Honestly, I just can't think of anything better. Now, I will just leave this today. You know that I want you to subscribe, just like all the other people on YouTube that talk a mile a minute. They would like you to subscribe as well, but I would like you to subscribe. But I want you to hit the notification bell so you know when we get another video, if that works for you. So thank you very much for joining me. I have a bunch of links down below. I don't have this linked. If you really want to do that, we can do that. I'm thinking of another tea with Monty, and if you have some questions regarding that, I have a new email address for that. It's called teawithmonty@gmail.com. teawithmonty@gmail.com, and I'll put a link down below. Send me your questions, and then we're going to have a Q&A, a question answer time that we can talk about guitars, or we can talk about your motivation for starting a new business or getting onto YouTube. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. So shoot it along, and depending on how many questions I get will depend upon how many I can answer. I may end up, I think we need to do a live event. Let me know what you think of that idea if you like a live event. Now, one of the things I want you to do is put in your first name, just so I can call you by name. And the other thing I'd be interested in knowing is what country you're coming from, because I think everybody's interested. I can't believe how many different countries are represented on YouTube. Everybody is into YouTube. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you very much. This is for the road because it's a long way to get upstairs to refill my cup. Oh yes, I should sell my house and invest in Twinings Tea or somebody else's tea company. Yeah, that'd be a good investment. All right, thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.